You guys know how much I love talking about Tropical Smoothie Cafe. We have one right down the street and we go, 3 times a week. And Tropical Smoothie Cafe believes you deserve a little vacay every day, not just once a year. So you want to get on Tropic Time, you're going to get some of their new bright, refreshing smoothies, Tropic bowls, wraps, and flatbreads. It's so delicious for lunch. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It's Thursday. It's Shades of Bravo. We have a very, very special episode today. We are actually doing a recap of Below Deck Med today. That's right. You heard me. It's as if I would have said Summer House. It's a show I don't watch, but I haven't watched Below Deck in a long time. I do know of Captain Sandy. Of course, I know of Captain Lee. I don't know of this new ilk Below Deck, but because Jacob from MILF Manor, a show I am covering over on Pink Shade Prime with Deanna Cheng, and made an appearance this week as the primary. I had to take to the mic. I had to bring Deanna Cheng over here to talk about it since she is covering MILF Manor with me. And Deanna also is very, very versed in the Bravo world. Deanna, welcome to Shades of Bravo Thursday's episode.
Wow, thank you for having me. I didn't know that you were not up on your Below Decks.
I'm not. I haven't. Listen, Aesha, I know. Whatever season she was on with that hot Liverpool guy, Jack,
Jason.
that I watched.
Captain Jason?
No.
Or
So when Aesha was on, and then the deck worker, Jack from Liverpool, was super, super hot. And I was very hot for him, and I was hot for their love.
okay, yeah.
But that may have been the last time I watched. So seeing her as a familiar face, Captain Sandy is a familiar face, but that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Well, and to be fair, everyone else I think is new. So,
Okay.
You're coming in with fresh eyes. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know anybody else. Actually, no, the one girl, the second stew, but
Yes.
she looks so different to me that I wouldn't have. And I think she came in really late in the season we met her.
The girl with the costumes. Yes.
She's a costume boo. I mean, my gosh, like hilarious. I feel like I got to understand her better this episode. And I was like, okay, I get it a little more. She's been through a lot. Like she was, her child, like I kind of can put the costumes in a place now.
Yeah. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to talk about this episode, Below Deck Med, Season 9, Episode 1, My Big Fat Greek Yacht Emergency, because Jacob from MILF Manor is on it. If you're interested in hearing our coverage of MILF Manor, that's over on Pink Shade Prime. And this past week that we watched, which when this comes out, will be a little bit late, Jacob and his father have left us on MILF Manor. They were not hidden on the manor. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, and quite frankly, when you said Jacob was going to be on this episode, I was fingers crossed Ashley would be there too, his dad, because his dad is fine.
He's gorgeous, and he's a man with all his emotions right at the surface.
Yes, he had a revelation that his marriage had dissolved and that he was in no position to be milfing around on the manor.
That is correct.
And yes. And I did want to throw out, in terms of like watching all the Below Decks.
Yeah.
As we've said in the past, my husband is a merchant marine. He's a sailor.
Yes.
So he is always watching all of them.
Really?
Uh-huh. We got together. We met online. Now it's like 10, 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we bonded over Jersey because he was watching.
Wow. Okay. This is some real deep background information. This is great. Okay.
Yeah. So, Bravo is a part of our relationship for sure. He's not on every season of every housewife season at all.
Mm-hmm.
But granted, like the Below Deck life is the bougie version of what he does.
Yeah.
He works on tugboats, but the structure, engineers, the crew, there are a lot of similarities, and especially the hierarchy and how things work and how, your interpersonal life is meshed. You're sleeping with these, everyone's living on a boat.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that's a part of our household.
That is fascinating. Now, my dad, who's 86, does enjoy some Bravo, and he
Oh.
especially loves Below Deck, but he likes the Captain Lee of it all because he likes the grizzled sailor, old man aspect of it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of thrown that Captain Lee is being set out to sea, as we've heard.
He's got another show. Listen, I can't remember what it's called, nor can I remember the channel, but it's something like on the ID channel. It's like, Murder at
Oh.
Sea with Captain Lee. I mean, it's something like that. He has a whole other show where he talks about, mysteries at sea and stuff. It's on some random channel.
He tried to have that show with Kate where they were like, I mean, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was really tough.
Yeah. Kate Chastain is a star, and he is a boat captain. I mean, he's, you know what I mean? He's not a reality star.
She was having to they were supposed to be like unpacking all the juice from all the shows. And she was like, okay, so this is when, she was like, like spoon feeding him everything. I was like, oh Lord, have mercy. This is not working.
He's like, I just want to drive the boat. I don't care. I just want to fire somebody and keep it pushing.
He was like, I do want to wear $10,000 worth of chains and keep it moving.
That's right. That's right. We love it. We love it. And so, guys, also what we're going to do here, we're going to talk about this episode, but we're also going to do a little addendum at the end that you'll hear that we're going to record after episode 2 drops, just so we can button up what happens with Jacob and his friends. We're not going to do a whole recap of episode 2, just sort of like, here's what happens with Jacob and his friends, because right now, when we're recording this early, we don't know what's going to happen. So we're just going to go through episode 1 and then button up episode 2 at the end as a little add-on once it comes out. Deanna, I have to ask you quickly about one more thing, and then we'll get to the episode. And that is, tell me about you and Amy Phillips, my friend, sometime co-host on this podcast, drama darling. Everybody go listen, going to something about her. I need to know all the details immediately.
Well, Amy and I have been trying to get together. She lives in Santa Clarita, which has been talked about quite a bit on the Valley. Mm-hmm. Which is a bit of a schlep. Yeah. And so, she was like, I'm actually going to be in town on Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday. And then it just like that thing fell apart, but she was like, let's still get together. And then I was like, what if we had a sandwich at Something About Her? And she was like, I'll invite the other hosts of Drama Darling. And it all happened.
Wow. Okay.
It all just came together beautifully.
Love it.
And I gotta say, I don't know, first of all, Katie knows Amy. So that's an element that is fun.
Yes, because you weren't just going in there like a fan. You had a little bit of an in.
A little bit, and now we're in line. It's not like we're getting anything like that, but it's fun that they knew each other because Katie was awesome. And so we're in line for a bit. Definitely, I would say if you're heading to get a sandwich, get there on the earlier side. I got there first. It was like 11 something, 11:30, maybe 11, something like that. As time went on, it was getting more and more busy. No, I'm sorry. I got there like a little bit before 12. So I would just say get there early because the line was growing.
Yeah, and, I bet.
Her mom was hosting.
Love.
Katie's mom.
Love.
So cute. I was like, oh, what I didn't register it was her mom initially. And I was like, oh, it doesn't look like the woman that they're working with, right? I know there's someone, a restaurateur, they've been creating, there's some drama, etc.
Yes.
But I'm like, it's nice that they're hiring a diverse age group here at Something About Her. And then, I was like, and someone was like, it's Katie's mom. I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay. She was the sweetest person.
Everybody loves Terry Maloney. She's a star.
Terry Maloney's a star. The TMZ truck, while we were waiting, came by.
Okay.
They
Fun.
scream like it's Katie's mom, Terry, from the truck, pulled in front.
Uh-uh.
And then the woman like running the truck was like, Terry, would you get on the bus for a minute? And she was like, no, I'm working. Like, what? You're trying to get Katie's mom on the like, what is happening?
Wow.
But then like Katie is working her ass off. The vibes were all the way up. Diane Keaton had been there right before we got there.
Wow.
Sick. I'm so sad I didn't catch a glance.
Yeah.
And my sandwich, I think it was called like the Viola.
Mm-hmm.
It was phenomenal.
Okay.
Not kidding. It was like a great panini style melty turkey schmear sandwich.
Okay. Love
So good.
that. Yes.
Overall, it was like we got three out of 4 sandwiches got big thumbs up.
Okay.
The one that didn't was the vegetarian, and it's like sometimes, it's just like buffalo, like the big chunk of mozzarella, basil. It just all wasn't, sometimes with that kind of sandwich and a big ciabatta roll, like things aren't mixed in.
Yeah, and it's like hard to eat it because it's like, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So that one I would say, like, if you can skip being vegetarian for the day, that would be the way to go. But like, she was so lovely. Katie was funny. She did mention that Lisa had not been by yet.
Interesting.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it was just a blast. We had a blast.
Well, next time I'm in LA, that'll be on my, because I've been to all the other hot spots. So it's the only place I haven't been to of that, genre is Sir. I mean, I've been past Sir, but I've never been in Sir. But I've been to Jax's, I've been to Tom Tom, I've been to Schwartz and Sandy's, and Pump RIP. So now I need to hit something about her. I need to hit all of the Bravo places. Well, so yeah, it sounds good, and I love a sandwich.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. I feel like they can scale it beyond.
Yeah,
it's a simple and well done. They serve wine, which I wasn't expecting. So they have the Aveline. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's like the Cameron Diaz wine.
Of course,
available, which felt cool and like female focused. I mean, it's well thought out and teeny tiny little store, but it was great.
Okay, guys, 10 out of 10. Deanna recommends.
Yeah,
and if you're in the LA area and you go, let me know, please. All right, let us get on to our recapping here. This is, like I said, season 9, episode 1, Below Deck Med, my big fat Greek yacht emergency. Now, what I took away from this is that I would like to go to Greece, and I'd like to be on a yacht. Maybe. But I'd like to be on a yacht. So Ritz-Carlton has a yacht collection now. So they have these boats and they're yachts, but they have like maybe 2 different dining, it's like a small cruise ship, right? So there's a couple hundred people on the boat. And I would like to do it that way. That way I'd be for sure that everything would be to my liking. I might make that dream happen for myself next year on my 25th wedding anniversary.
Ooh,
I've already dropped the seeds out there. I've already put a little money in a separate little fund. Like,
cute.
It's something that could happen. It could happen.
Yeah. I love it. I love having a plan.
It's a plan. It's over a year away. So plenty of time to save. So, okay. So we open with, it's Aesha, Aesha, Aesha. Now, Aesha has got the craziest voice that's ever blessed our television.
I mean, Amy Phillips does a phenomenal Aesha. I will say it is so crazy and spot on. And yes, she is turned to the heavens. I mean, when this episode starts, I'm like, whoa, Aesha's been in the van for a while. That's how I felt.
Yeah, she does do van life. Aesha does. And it's funny because Kimberly, my co-host sometimes, who is with Dateline, she's obsessed with van life. She follows all, like you and I were talking earlier about following all these Amazon find accounts. She follows all the van life accounts. And I'll have to get Kimberly's opinion because I'm sure she follows Aesha's van life. So,
wow.
Aesha
One of
tells,
my husband's friends lives van life, an engineer actually. And,
yeah,
you get a little, you do get a little feral.
she later talks about pooping in a bucket, and I'm like, you know what? You lost me. You lost me at pooping in a bucket.
I need her out of the van kind of soon. That was
Yeah,
my overall takeaway of the full episode. I was like, I'm gonna have to get Aesha out of the van. I'll give her one more year, and then I want her.
she's going to need a home.
Yeah,
She's going to need just an apartment is fine. I mean,
we're,
anything. A
yeah,
1-bedroom condo. I mean, something.
great.
So we open with Aesha telling production that the med is where it all started for her, and she's so excited. And then she says something stinks, and then she goes, "I think I have a fart trapped in my tights." And I'm like, Aesha, this is not the way I want it to start with you. And also, why are you wearing tights in the Mediterranean? Do you mean underwear? What's going on? Okay.
Right.
Um, and so we get some quick shots of Greece, the boat, the crew, and it seems that this season we're going to see Captain Sandy get engaged. Well, I do think in real time she's gotten married, and it seems lots of the crew will hook up, and lots of the crew will be inept, and maybe they lose an anchor. And those are the quick shots we get for the season. Now, first day of charter season, we're in Zea Marina, Greece. Looks incredible, incredible.
Absolutely stunning.
Stunning. And we see Aesha walk up going, "So many dicks, so many dicks, dicks, look at all the dicks." She's saying decks. They're putting the words below so you know that she's not saying dicks. I could never in a million years attempt to do her crazy voice and accent. I will have to go over to Drama Darling for that.
Honestly, that was really good.
Yes, so many dicks.
Yeah.
She's got that Candy Burris thing where it's just so many levels of talking. You know, it's like up and down. So we have Captain Sandy, and you guys, I listen. This is not a promotion for Amy Phillips, but Amy Phillips does a phenomenal live show that I've seen twice. Once I was in it, and she has a whole song about Captain Sandy's white pants, and wearing her crop pants, and it's hilarious. So whenever you see Captain Sandy, she's got on those white clam diggers.
Can I ask you a quick question, Mary Payne? Not to derail things, but
yes.
Did you think Captain Sandy looked refreshed?
Oh, like she's had a little off-season work?
I'm just wondering.
Because I'm not, following it so closely, I thought she looked great. And
I thought she looked great too.
if she's refreshed, I say, good for you. Take that Bravo money and put it on your face.
The face was giving, the teeth were blinding white. I mean, she just looked a little fresher than usual in my mind.
She does have a much younger fiance / wife, I believe.
Okay.
Who was a gospel singer, interestingly enough. So we see that Sandy and Aesha have worked together since 2019. And, Aesha's really been on a journey to get to Chief Stew. Sandy says Aesha always goes the extra mile. She's great to work with. And Aesha says Sandy has really been like a second mom. They visit each other off season. And then Sandy shows us that they have a crew cabin that no one can sleep in because there's a leak. So Aesha is only going to have 2 helpers, 2 stews instead of 3 because they can't have a full crew, which, is not a great start. It's not a great start. So now we meet Ian, who has some extra letters in his name, but he's Ian. He's from Cape Town, South Africa. He's the bosun, and he's much cuter with the hat. When he takes the hat off, not so good. Just my opinion. He looks like every guy I saw at the Dead shows 2 weeks ago. Okay. We see Jono, Jono. Am I saying it correctly? It's Jono.
So.
Jono. It's short for something. It's like short for Jonah or something. He's from Antigua. He's the chef. He's a self-taught chef. He's an architect. He's a star.
Big
right
time.
Right off the bat. He's a star. We get Elena, who they're going to call Ellie sometimes. She's from Slovenia. She's the stew. She has worked with Sandy. She wants to be a chief stew one day. We'll get to her later with her costumes. Now we get Sabrina, who they're going to call Bree. She is from South Africa. She's the stew. She's completely without knowledge of anything in this world. I don't know if they plucked her off the street. Nathan is from Ireland. He's got a wonderful Irish accent. He's a deckhand. We get Joe from Liverpool. He is from the UK by way of Spain. He's a deckhand. And then we get Gail. She is from Australia. She's a deckhand and she's a total smoke show. She's
Gorgeous model.
incredible. And it's always interesting when you throw in like a hot deckhand female with the male dominated situation. They know what they're doing on Bravo.
Yes, they do.
So Aesha says, yeah, it's not the best team or the worst team ever. And she says Ellie will be second stew and on nights, and Bree will be third stew and on housekeeping and in the morning.
I'm starting to, I got to be honest, my heart's literally starting to race over how difficult this episode went with like, I'm back waiting tables and I'm back when shit goes left and it's a pile up and you can't breathe. Like, this episode did me in.
Okay. I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. So Joe is named lead deckhand. So, excuse me, there's going to be coughing. So they all clean and they talk about how everybody on the crew is good looking. Gail tells us she started as a stew, but she was drawn to the deck and loves to give the boys a run for their money. Love that for you, Gail. Love everything about it. So the guys say that they're single except for Gail. Gail says she has a boyfriend who's a yachty engineer. And Aesha calls and her provisions and the chef's provisions are running late. Now, this is a running theme and this is terrible.
Whew.
Sandy tells Aesha about the leak in one of the crew cabins and says she hopes to get it fixed so that she can get another stew. And God knows she's going to need it.
Uh-oh.
Guys, sorry. I had to cough again. It's going to happen. So Jono, the chef, Aesha, Ian, and Sandy have a meeting to talk prep sheet. Okay. First charter, primaries, Jacob Ward. What did you think when you saw his picture?
I kind of laughed because, we know him so well from the MILF Manor. I wondered, he's clearly a wealthy young man.
Yeah. Right.
We did take a peek at his socials, and his whole thing is like body building kind of workout stuff. And MILF Manor is not there. It's not in the title. It's not in a photo. So I'm curious to see if this will be on his socials. But I had to wonder, has this gentleman handed over $20K to a publicist and said, we're building my brand this summer? Because how is this happening?
Yeah. And he's so without personality.
Oof.
He's so dull. He's so dull.
Yeah.
So it says Jacob Ward is a social influencer and a Gen Zer. He's bringing in his friends. They're all from London. And Aesha goes, what kind of photo is that? He looks like he's trying to be a Roman statue. And he does. He's very, yeah, it's something with the face on the chin. So Alfie and Amelia are coming, their boyfriend, girlfriend, and their other influencers, Nick and Anthony, who I think are a couple. And there's another guy named Ben. The other guy did seem to be sleeping in Jacob's room. So it's questionable what's happening there. So
I think they're just bunked up.
You think so?
I think they're bunkies.
Bunkies, as it were. So Aesha says these are really rich young people. Meanwhile, she lives in a van with her boyfriend and shits in a bucket. Girl. To me, I say, Aesha, we don't need to hear this. No.
What does her boyfriend do? I don't know. But like, whatever the situation is, Mary Payne, I really have had enough of it. Like, I'm literally done with this chapter.
Okay. And
okay.
How old is Aesha? Do we know? She's in her late 30s, early 30s? What do we think?
Would put her in her 30s. Where in 30s? I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Because, it might be time to settle into a home. Just a small home on land would be fine.
We've met her boyfriend at some point.
Okay.
And he's definitely a little older than her, I would say.
Older?
I would say.
Okay.
And not like wildly, but and I feel like when you're in living van life,
Mm-hmm.
it can sort of be the kind of thing where then you're wearing it as a badge of honor.
Yes.
And you're thumbing your nose at things like indoor plumbing. And it just can take on a life of its own. And I'm just like, let's regroup, guys. Let's sit down. Let's powwow. Let's just like really look at the next 20. And just let me know if when you're 50, 60, are we seeing our bodies in the van?
Right. Okay. Yes.
If the answer is yes, go with God.
Yeah. And you know what? You can upgrade your van as you go, maybe with some indoor plumbing. An RV life would be better than van life.
But you know what I'm saying? Like once you start to, it's like people are like, I only eat organic. It's like becomes a badge of honor. And then you're going hard, even if it's not actually serving you anymore.
It's like CrossFit and Orange Theory. I don't need to hear about it.
Never.
I also don't need to know about your Peloton rides. Okay. I seem real bitter towards people that exercise. So Jono's looking at the prep sheet and he goes, seems like they all love Greek food. That's great. We're in Greece. And Aesha goes, this is fun. They want to have a 70s party with a disco vibe. We can do that. And I got to tell you something, Deanna, if I go on one of these yachts, I don't need a theme party. I would like to just sit and have a lovely meal. And I'd like to after dinner, maybe crank up some music, dance around, but it doesn't have to be a theme.
Gosh, I've watched so many of these at this point that I do think I would need a theme party because I think, you do need to spice up a night.
I guess maybe I'm just at that age where I just want a nice dinner, some nice food, some nice accompanying wine. And then after dinner, maybe we crank up the music, we dance around, we have some more drinks, and we're in bed by a reasonable time because tomorrow morning we got to hit that sun deck. We got to get on that slide.
But you'll have a few of those nights where it will just be what you're asking for. And then don't you want one night of turn up in terms of theme?
Well, only if let's say it's for my 50th birthday, which is past. Let's say it's for somebody I'm with and it's let's say Ingrid's not yet 50. So let's say we're going on this super yacht for Ingrid's 50th birthday. Okay. One night we can do Ingrid's 50th birthday, whatever her theme. I don't know what the youngster's theme would want to be. What she would probably want the 80s or something. And we would do a theme night for her 50th birthday. And that's it. And then after that, I just want nice dinners and I want to sit around with my friends afterwards and dance and have some martinis.
Okay. I don't disagree. I think I've just been conditioned through this show to want one.
Okay. I think it's just sort of sad when it's only 5 people having a theme. It's more fun if it's 100 people,
You are not wrong, but I do think it energizes the crew a little bit too. I do think energetically, you at the end of the day, you're contained on a boat for several days ultimately.
Yeah.
So I do think there's something about just switching up the vibe that kind of is needed.
Okay. I get that too, but I think I'm just an elder at this point. So all right, 15 and a half hours till the guests arrive. Some provisions arrive, but not everything. And Nathan tells us, he's Irish, and he tells us that normally on boats, no one can understand his accent. He's from a small town in Ireland. And he says, there's just one phrase you can use is Pog Mahone. And they go, what does it mean? He goes, oh, it means you're beautiful. And they go, really? He goes, no, it means kiss me ass. I love it.
Cute.
So Bree says that Joe is really hot. He's a whole vibe. She likes his eyebrows. Now, this is when Aesha starts to realize her provisions are not there. She's only gotten about a fourth of her stuff. So she meets with Sandy, and Sandy's like, the pressure will make you better. The pressure's going to make you better. So they all have the same goal here. They want to get their money. They want to respect each other. There's no drinking on charter. The engineers and the officers come in and we never see them again, but they're really what's keeping this boat from not sinking, let's be honest. So
Yeah.
Jono calls provisions because his items aren't correct. Aesha's stuff doesn't arrive until 9 p.m. and everybody goes to bed. But we see Aesha toss and turn all night because no one slept well because she's upset, about her provisions. I'll say Aesha's not used to sleeping indoors where there's a
No,
bathroom close by.
she's like, what's this mattress? This is weird. My body's comfortable. I don't feel right.
I don't feel right. There's no mosquitoes biting my ankles.
Yeah.
So next morning, Aisha's still waiting on her provisions. Ian is showing Sandy his lineup for the deck team. And Aisha's like, I can't find anything. And we just see boxes and shit everywhere. The boat is huge. Provisions are late. They haven't unpacked anything. This is where another stew would be helpful to her.
Whew.
Why can't they get another stew and put that stew in the bottom bunk so they don't get rained on?
Good question.
I feel like Bree is going to be fired pretty soon.
Bree is, hate to use the word, useless.
Mm-hmm.
She is such a anchor of dead weight.
Mm-hmm. Good metaphor.
I mean, ooh la la. And plus, her hair was driving me batty.
She needs a ponytail holder ASAP. Yeah.
Whatever these two weird clips were, and then stringiness, I was like, wrangle the mop on top of your head immediately. Like you can't have hair that's bothering me and not know how to do and spend 6 hours steaming 3 articles of clothing. Those can't go together. It's one or the other.
It's something. It's really something. I want to tell you guys about the Row Body Program. Row provides access to the most popular weight loss shots on the market. The Row Body Program pairs a weekly shot with healthy lifestyle changes so you can lose 15 to 20% of your weight in a year on average and actually keep it off. You guys, I have done weight loss shots and I did lose about 30 pounds in 6 months or maybe a little less. And I did make lifestyle changes. I cut out alcohol by about 80%. I was trying to eat clean and I started walking the dogs twice a day. And with just those changes and the shots, I really have gotten back to a weight that is good for me. Over 200,000 people have already chosen Row to help them lose weight. The Row Body Program members have support throughout the process. This means their partner is going to handle the insurance paperwork to help get the medication covered. And if you're eligible for medication, patients will have access to their provider on demand for any questions. And you do have questions about these things, and it's really nice that they have somebody there that can help you anytime you need it. You can sign up online from the comfort of your own home. This means no scheduling a doctor's appointment, no commute to the doctor's office, and no waiting rooms. Average weight loss is 15 to 20% in 1 year with healthy lifestyle changes. BMI and other eligibility criteria will apply. Go to row.co/pinkshade. Sign up today and you'll pay just $99 for your first month and $145 a month after that. Medication costs are separate. So you're going to go to ro.co/pinkshade. So now it's 2 hours until the charter. They're all cleaning, and Aesha and Jono talk, and he tells us that in his past life, he's a dancer. And we see some of his fun moves. He says he dances in the kitchen. He tries to show Aesha how to twerk, and she's like, I'm so white, I can't twerk. But it's pretty funny. I love, we see this a lot on our 90-day shows, people trying to teach people how to twerk, and you have it or you don't. And Aesha is me, and I am Aesha. There's no
You don't think she got better though, Mary? Like when he said, he's like, when he said which muscle to isolate, I was in bed watching it, but I actually do want to see if that'll help me because I thought it got better for her.
Okay. I thought it stayed the same, but I mean, she's not without rhythm, but it's just something about that twerking, and it is about that lower back muscle, and that's where I get my back injections, Deanna. So there's like no way I'm making that.
China.
I don't want to mess up those back injections, even though it did paralyze my left foot earlier this week. That was a bad situation.
I need you to be contained in a box for.
I mean,
honestly, Mary Payne, like I can't with you. I need you to settle down.
It's one thing after another, and I feel
what is happening right now.
Right now, I am, other than the sinus infection that is going on 2 weeks, I am fine. I've got feeling in my left foot, and
can't with you.
I mean,
really can't.
It is, Deanna, on this podcast, we have a whole segment called old ladies and their corns, which is old ladies sitting around talking about their corns. And I'm done with the conversation. When I tell you by my son's grad party this coming week, I'm going to be in tip-top shape.
I need you to. I don't know if you're
Tip-top.
doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we need to take a few things off the menu for the week in terms of what you're up to. I don't know if you're not hydrating. I don't know if you're not eating enough vegetable. Like, I want you hydrated. I want you with the salads. I want you nutrient rich foods only. Like, I need you firmed up. I don't know if you're having enough calcium. I don't know what's going on. But every time I'm connecting with you, some shit is falling apart lately.
I know. And I'm really not that person. I'm really not that person.
Okay.
And it's upsetting that this is the view that you have of me.
I have another one at this, ever since the time your trip to LA, it's been one.
I need to stay at home.
After a goddamn another.
I know. I need to stay at home and just hydrate. You're right.
Yeah, I want go get some coconut water after that. It's beautiful for hydration. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Crystal Minkoff, here I come. So, all right. So they only have one bottle of champagne on this boat.
Ugh.
I mean, so they pour that as the welcome beverage. Bree brings out the cold towels, although I'm pretty sure she had no idea what they were for.
No.
Jacob and his pals arrive and they give him that whole Ocean's 11, like one guy in front, like, oh, that slow-mo, like hot guy walk, except it's Jacob. And then Jacob says to the guys, bro, the content is going to be silly. There's so much content talk. Silly. We get a lot of silly. It's going to be sick, bro. So Aesha shows them around and she tells them, we've had a provisioning problem, that she's been on the phone with them. This is the only bottle of champagne on the boat, no rosé, but she has things for cocktails and the other stuff is coming very soon. And Joe and Nathan are like, these guys are so young. How do they afford this? Now, we know that you just pay a PR person to get you on these reality shows. And we do know to go on Below Deck.
No, you have to pay. You get a discount.
You have to pay.
Yes.
You get a discount. And it's only 3 days instead of a week.
Right.
And I think you do have to pay
you do have to pay
$20K plus whatever the tip is.
Yeah, no, you're paying. That's why I'm always shocked that people do it. But I think you're getting a discount, but you're paying a ton of money.
And it's 3 days instead of 1 week on a super yacht. So they see the sun deck and Jacob goes to the lifting rack and they're all like, this is going to be sick for photos, man. And they're like to Aesha, will you take pictures? She's like, oh, I'm great. And then she says she's a terrible photographer. And we see lots of van life pictures of her, like taking pictures up her nose and whatnot. So she shows them the primary suite. Always on these boats, the primary suite looks like something that would be like in Donald Trump Tower. Like it's all like gilded and gold and like shiny wood. And it's always just a little too much.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. So Ben tells Aesha he needs a lot of stuff steamed. He needs some clothes steamed. And Aisha's like, okay, listen, a lot of the guests need things steamed. So just head on over there into the laundry room and get to steaming. You're on housekeeping. And she's like, no problem. The rosé is not
major goddamn problem.
P.S. No.
Nothing but problem.
Nothing but problems for Bree with the steamer. So the rosé has not arrived. So they ask Bree, can you just get someone to nip to the shop to get some rosé? Now I don't think nip to the shop is a thing where they are. And Sandy sends a strongly worded text about the alcohol and they say they're sending some and they're going to send some more later with the big order. So now some provisions arrive, no rosé, no red wine. And Sandy's like, this is unacceptable. So she calls and they say, sorry, we're having all these problems. Now, everybody's ordering drinks. Bree is working on the clothes, but she can't get the steamer to work. And she tells us, I grew up with a maid and now I realize I should have respected her more.
It wasn't a steamer though. It was an iron.
Well, there was a steamer and there was an iron.
Oh, there was a steamer.
Yeah. There
Okay.
was, but there was also an iron, and I'm just waiting for her to like ruin somebody's clothes with like a
No,
burn mark.
she should not touch the iron. I was not sure. Okay. She was mostly ironing though, wasn't
But I
she?
think it was a steamer, is what I'm telling you. I think she was using it incorrectly. Like she didn't understand that like you hang the things for the steamer up and down and you steam up and down. She was like trying to iron it on the ironing board. She didn't understand any of it.
Wow.
Any of it.
Deep confusions. No,
Yeah.
they were doing a time ticker
Yeah.
that blew my hair back.
I know. It's like everybody had like 4 things that needed to just get some wrinkles out. Meanwhile, she's trying to do laundry. And there's 6 machines running at all times. So the
I,
guys are taking influencer photos now. We see some gorgeous shots of Athens and some other beautiful areas. There's Poros, there's Hydra, Poseidon's Temple. The food looks incredible. Again, I just am dying to go to Greece. Everybody that goes to Greece, though, has kind of a bad experience with people stealing things out of their hotel rooms and stuff.
oh,
I think it's a
really?
lot of crime.
Oh.
So you got to kind of maybe research before you, or just go in a super yacht. You won't have the problem. So Jacob is saying content is king. And the friend goes, we're going to be on that content grind. So a lot of content talk. They have like professional content equipment. They're not iPhoning it. They've got like real, Canon cameras, like big cameras. More content photos. They're dropping the anchor. 4.5 hours until more provisions will arrive. Now we're trying to get the slide out. This is a trope of Below Deck that, even though I haven't watched it in a long time, is trying to get that slide out. Trying to get that slide out. It's awful.
But once you get it out, it looks like a blast. But
pulling it back in, I can't even imagine, is the worst.
It doesn't sound hard in terms of things you have to do on a boat. A lot of things sound harder, but it's not easy.
It's so heavy, and it's like 3 decks below, and you have to roll it up the stairs.
Yeah.
And then I think getting it out is pretty easy, but then I think getting it back and flattening it to roll it up to put it up is impossible. So Bree finally figures out the iron after 5 hours of steaming. Can't. Maybe that's why her hair looks like that, because she's standing with a steamer in her face.
Sure.
Everybody jumps off the boat. They're going down the slide. They're doing content. Sick content, bro. Amelia, the one girl on the boat, falls down the stairs. So maybe she did have too much mixed cocktails. I'm not sure. They talk more about their content. Ben tells Aesha no one has their clothes. And Aisha's like, what? So she goes to figure out what's going on with Bree. She thought she could leave Bree with one job. And she goes in there. It's been 6 hours. And Aesha goes in there and goes, are you not good at laundry or what? And Bree goes, I don't know. I just get in my head and I just take so much time with every piece. And Aesha goes, okay. So Aesha gets the iron out, which I think is a real iron. And it's like, zip, 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 zip. And she's having Bree just run the clothes to everyone, so Bree runs the clothes. So the people think Bree has done the work, but really she's now just the clothes runner. So Bree says she's been yachting for 2 years, been on much smaller boats. She's never made it through an entire yachting season. And
when she said 2 years, I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then she followed it up with never made it through an entire season.
So not 2 years. Not 2 years.
No.
She says she knows she stresses out. She makes mountains out of molehills, and she knows this is her problem, right? Anxiety is her friend.
That is not the problem. You need to be making. No, it's like.
She said no training.
Thinking you're a perfectionist and that you're making mountains out of molehills is not what's happening. Mm-mm. You needed to take 7 hard minutes at the top and grab someone, be it Aesha or be it the other gal, Ellie, and ask for guidance.
Yes.
7 hard, good minutes of guidance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you would have been fine.
I agree.
Instead, you had your thumb up your ass. You didn't know what you were doing. And you sat in a room flailing for 6 hours.
So Now we find out the yacht provisions have gone to the wrong water taxi and it'll be another hour.
No.
And Aisha's like, oh my God, this company fucking sucks. And then we see the guys making, okay, we're going to do some sick content, some silly content, bro. We're going to make drinks. Make a drink with me on a super yacht. Shake, shake, shake. What are they getting for this content? So they make this content. Does this mean that they're going to get now ads? Like a company's going to come to them and go, hey, we'd like for you to make our content. Here's 10K. Is that how that works? Like because they liked
now,
this content?
Listen to me, Mary Payne. You're the one with 10K followers.
Not to brag,
no
but it did happen.
Big deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, you tell me, you're the influencer.
Amazing.
What deals have rolled in once you hit that 10K?
None.
I think it's a combination of like, I don't know if they have any branding, be it what they're wearing,
Yeah.
maybe, something like that. Or it's just will drive traffic because it's so cool. So I don't know. I'm sure it's a combination.
And that'll make somebody else see us and think like, oh, these guys make great videos. We'll have them come and represent our skateboard brand or something.
Yeah.
So everybody's getting ready. Jono is making do with the crab instead of the lobster. Provisions are now coming at 9 p.m. instead of 7:30 p.m. Everybody's freaking out. So this is when Ellie puts on her disco outfit. She says she, travels. She's put on her disco outfit to serve the food because of the party. And then Bree goes to clean the cabins. Well, she can't iron. She also can't clean cabins.
No.
The provisions arrive. There is still no rosé, no red wine. And Ellie goes to help with the cabins because Bree doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And she's like, okay, like there's literally water on the bathroom floor. Like you forgot to make up the bed. People's clothes were not hung up. Like, let's just get on this, girl. And then Bree goes back to help with the food. I'm sorry. Ellie goes back to help with the food. Ellie's doing the work of two people.
Yeah.
Okay. So the guys are talking about their sick content and Jono comes out and is talking to the guests and they're like, the food is great, bro. They're great. And Aisha's like, he's so calm. And he's a really calming factor, Jono, because he didn't get his stuff. He just rolled right with it,
Yeah.
And so far, Jono is a star. Love him.
Yes.
Love him. So Ellie tells Bree, she was like, girl, we're going to have to do a little training tomorrow because you are not up to speed. And Aesha thanks Ellie for being so capable, basically, and doing the job of two people. So some of the crew goes to bed, and Aesha sends another strongly worded text about the wine. The guests make some more sick content, and they make a big mess with confetti. When I saw that confetti all over the deck, I was like, oh, that was fun for the poo, make the confetti so they could get that 1 second boomerang shot. It's a big mess. So then they're saying, you know what we would like? We would like some nachos, some grilled cheese, some mac and cheese, everything with cheese that you've got. We'd like it. And we'd also like some more drinks. We'd like a mojito. We'd like some drinks. So Ellie goes down to wake up Jono. She's like, I'm sorry to wake you up, but they want food. And I mean, I could maybe make a grilled cheese, but like, I can't make all this stuff that they're asking for. And he literally is like, no, I don't think so.
I've never heard such a clean no. It made me laugh. I was like, Jono may be my new guru because it was so plainly said.
In the words of your sister, who famously made up this phrase that was on Bitch Sesh, I'm not going to take that on.
Very much so.
I have the shirt. Got it for all my friends. Not going to take that on. You have to just at some point, you have to say no.
He sure did.
And he did.
Good Lord, did he ever.
He's like, I'm asleep. And no. So then we hear the guys yelling out, 2 mojitos, 2 Moscow mules, rosé. We need it. We need our food. I ordered the mojito an hour ago. And then we hear the guests looking at Gail, who's on night duty, saying, why can't she cook?
No, here's the thing. They seem horrible?
Semi.
I do kind of feel it was warranted though, because.
Okay. Let's hear your reasoning.
Well, I think that it's bare minimum that you're going to, I personally, if I was going to be on a yacht for the day, would be drinking rosé because I would get too drunk on mixed drinks and it would, red's too heavy. I would have liked rosé. That would have been my drink of choice.
It seems very yacht-ish that you would be on a yacht and you would have rosé. I agree.
So just to not have like those basics. Also, I will say, as much as I love Aesha and I do think she's, really good at her job, the energy she brought to the opening moment where they stepped on the yacht, now they're younger. And that was part of, I think, her calculation was like, I can be real with them because they're not, 60-year-old, like bougie. Do you know what I mean? I think she did that math, but it's a tough start. And I actually think that it wasn't, there's a difference between being forthcoming and, explaining the situation. And, but she was like panicked and frustrated and just like blurted it out at them that like, this is the only button. And I get it. But to have spent this level of money and not to have a bottle of rosé around is unacceptable.
So you think someone should have left the boat and gone to the shop? I think someone should have. I think it would have taken
they weren't off. They weren't off they hadn't left.
Yeah, but I think they kept thinking, okay, they said it'll be here in an hour.
I understand.
Yeah, but I think somebody, when they realized it wasn't coming, should have jumped off the boat, ran to the store, and come back.
I agree. I mean, I think that it was unacceptable. I feel like Captain Sandy was sort of, she has been more laissez-faire about everything because she was so micromanagey a few seasons ago. And I've noticed that she has sort of backed off because I think that, like, my husband was like, that a micromanaging captain is bad.
Yeah.
You should be able to trust that everybody can do their job. Yes. And if the captain
except for Bree.
Well, we cannot trust her because she cannot do her job. But like, if you have to call the captain, things have gone horribly wrong. That's essentially how it works with a captain.
Yes. The captain is there to only know a full-on emergency.
Well, it doesn't have to be like, that's maybe a little extreme, but it's like, if they need to be called, they need to be called. But if everyone's doing their job, the captain should never have to be called.
So you think Aesha should have handled this provisions thing in a different way, or should have earlier gotten Captain Sandy involved?
I know. I'm going to talk outside one side of my face and say the other thing, but I do feel like Captain Sandy this is something that's sort of outside of what Aesha can do. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha.
And I think Captain Sandy was so hands off. Like, we've got a major fucking problem here.
Yeah.
Cap.
And somebody needs to fix it, and they need to fix it now and not 3 hours from now. They need to fix it now.
Yes. And I do think because they were young, I do feel like if it was an older set, people would have moved differently. I just think that. And so
they would have been more panicked if it was a bunch of
I think so.
60-year-old New Englanders that were
yachting, yachting people. I just kind of think that this was really bad, and the chef saved their lives with having, great food. But what do they do especially when you have young people there? Like, why don't they prep bites for night?
It seems like they would just have like something in the fridge, pull it out, pop it in the microwave,
warm it up.
Because
even if you have to pop it in the oven, it's like
it's nothing more than a 20-year-old likes than a midnight snack.
Yeah,
I can tell you from my kid every night. It's like, can I order McDonald's? Like, it's 12 o'clock. Let's not.
Oh, at that hour?
Yeah. Midnight. God. I'm going to order McDonald's. Are you?
Oh,
do you have an Uber Eats account? I don't think you do. Okay, so after she tries to wake up Jono and he's like, no, she says, okay, I can make grilled cheese, but like, that's it. So then we hear them yelling the mojitos, the Moscow mules, the rosé, and then they're saying about Gail, why can't she cook? Which is, a little misogynistic. And Ellie goes again, a second time.
Oh my
and tries
God.
to wake up Jono. Jono tells
Mhm.
us, I hate being woken up. I hate it. And this is like, I have to have this time to recharge my batteries because he's on all day with all these meals. And Ellie goes, Jono, I'm telling you, this is going to become a really big deal if you don't wake up. It's going to become a big deal and it won't be good for you. And
That
his
was
talk,
dumb.
he's way ranked above her. He's the chef on
Very
this
much
boat.
so. Very
And
much
in
so.
the talking head, he says, bitch, are you stupid? This is not going to be good for you. Which,
Facts.
okay, Jono, now we really love you double because he said it's not going to be good for you, Missy ma'am. So next time
Mhm.
we see Bree is still unable to conquer laundry. Sandy tells Ellie, never wake the chef. Not good. And Jono says, this bitch is going to drive me crazy. And so Jono and Ellie are going to have a fight. And then Nathan and Gail flirt. And he asks, do you really have a boyfriend? Because we have found out that she has a boyfriend that's an engineer on another boat. And that's it for this episode, guys. And like I said, I am going to tack on with Deanna. We're going to do just a little zip, zip, zip of episode 2, just so we can finalize what happens with Jacob, because we're real invested in Jacob because of MILF Manor. And you guys, if you're not watching MILF Manor, I don't know what you're doing with your life
Yeah,
because
get it
it's
together.
just the right amount of trash. Just the right.
Correct.
Yeah. You guys, the greatest thing about Deanna is that she's a Bravo girl. She didn't know about the likes of TLC, the trash that we delve into on a weekly basis. I mean, Deanna, not only do we delve into TLC, we delve a little bit lower, which is WeTV and Love After
Whoa.
Lockup. So we even go lower. So Bravo, when I get to talk about Bravo, it's so highbrow. It
Yeah.
gives me such a jolt. Gives me such a
Right.
feeling.
Right.
It's home. It's home for me. Home
Right.
for me.
You've been like essentially you've been living like Aesha in van life in these other networks. And Bravo, you're able to like move into some indoor plumbing
I'm in a
and air.
Kristen Doty apartment with a black fridge in the living room. That's all I ask for. I
Oh
don't care
wow.
if there's a black fridge in my living room. It's okay. It's better than a van.
Yeah,
Better than a
for
van.
sure.
Oh my gosh, Deanna, it was so fun to talk to you about this. And we will do a quick catch up that will be tacked on to this episode. But tell everybody where they can find out more about you, Deanna Cheng, and all your various things that you do.
Sure. Thank you for that opportunity, Mary
Of
Payne.
course, of course.
You can march yourself over to my podcast, How to Be Less Old.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of fun. And if you're enjoying that, we have a Substack
Mm-hmm.
also called How to Be Less Old, which is a newsletter. Mary Payne is a subscriber.
Of course.
And we are covering terms. We're covering MILF content. We're looking at the state of the world. We're looking at AI. We're figuring out what's going on with youths, and we're disseminating that information to you.
It's
And
very helpful to us elders. It is.
it really
Yeah.
is. And if you need a montage, you can make your way to the montagequeen.com. I have a bar mitzvah that I'm doing right now. We do a lot. I do a ton of birthdays and anniversaries and all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you for letting me share that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You guys, Deanna is she's a hustler, in the words of Lisa Rinna. She's a hustler. She's got businesses. She's working.
She's working.
Also on you appear on Drama Darling pretty often with our pal Amy. Shout out Amy. Check out Amy's Aesha. I need to pop over to Drama Darling and hear that. And hopefully Amy will be on in a few weeks. I need to reach out. I have to book her pretty far out. She's busy. You guys, stay tuned here and you will get the update to this episode, which will be season 9, episode 2 of Below Deck Med. And thank you very much, Deanna. Appreciate you, girl. Tropical Smoothie Cafe believes you deserve a getaway every day, not just once a year. Summer mocktail smoothies are here for a limited time at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Mocktail hour on the pool deck is just a sip away. Nothing says summer quite like a tropical mocktail smoothie. They have fan favorites like Island Punch, Mango Berry Cosmo, and a Watermelon Mojito smoothies. Yum! The Mango Berry Cosmo, of course, is my favorite. It has mango, strawberries, cranberry, and lime. And these are around for just a limited time. So grab a bunch and head over to the pool deck. Join Tropical Smoothie Cafe for a pineapple mango watermelon soiree all summer long. You're going to grab these 3 special mocktails at your local Tropical Smoothie Cafe and then meet your friends poolside. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, you're on Tropic Time now. Hey everybody, this is part 2 of season 9, episode 1 and 2 of Below Deck Med. And this is, as promised, Deanna and I had to come back to the mic just to button it up with Jacob, the worst influencer maybe we've ever seen, and his buddies. Deanna, these guys are influencers? They are terrible influencers.
Yeah, I can't imagine going to them for guidance.
No, it's just a lot of content is king, content is silly, content is sick. But then no, what are we doing? We're shaking a martini, we're in a Speedo with a matching shirt. What are we doing?
It's so hard to say, Mary Payne. It's first of all, God bless America. That's where we just have to start. That this can be a path, and that these young people are on this super yacht. I mean,
God bless the UK because they're British.
Yeah, are they all British?
I think they were all British.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I really was watching with one eye. I was like, the deck stuff was way more interesting than the guest. And usually the guest will give you some kind of drama on Below Deck, but no, these guys are so boring. And I think what you said is right, that Jacob decided to boost his social influencer brand, hired some sort of agent who got him on these 2 shows.
But then the agent didn't follow up with this production and say hey, just so you guys know, Jacob is on MILF Manor as well. So you may want to get some footage of him or find out who he's dating, or just tie that in, because you probably will have crossover.
Yeah, you would think.
They did not do that.
Mm-mm.
Jacob was barely
mute. He's mute. He's a mute influencer is what he is.
A meme-influencer.
A meme-influencer. Oh my gosh. All right. So we open up where we left off, which is the guests all needing their food and drinks. They wanted their snacks, and Jono's annoyed because Eleno. Hey, that's that's their couple name. Elena is telling Jono, she was like, it's not going to end well for you if you don't get up. It's going to be really a problem for you. And I did not listen, whether you think she should have woken him up or not, I didn't like her saying that to him. It's not going to end well for you. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm on this boat. I am a ranking officer above you.
Yeah, that was listen, she was in the absolute most stress-inducing position.
Mm-hmm.
I could align with it 100%. I've been there. It's a nightmare. You will think about it for the rest of your life and panic.
Yes.
With that said, trying to guilt him or scare him into making grilled cheese was not the way.
Scare him into it, you're gonna be fired. And she was sort of like, I'm just trying to help you out here, bud. And he's like, fuck off.
Girl, please.
Girl. So the charter guests go into the kitchen and start making their own food, and then they go and make their own drinks. They're having a great time doing it. And I said, again, is Jacob with us? Is he on the boat? We don't see him. It's everybody else.
Yeah, there's 2 guys that seem to be making their presence felt. But I can't even identify them particularly, you know, but it's not Jacob. He's the only one I would be able to identify, and he's literally a non-presence.
Yeah, totally. So the next morning, as Aesha is, walking around and talking to everyone, she says to Bree, "Did you start laundry?" And then we see a clip of her like last night saying, "First thing you do is start laundry. Like you don't have to be on laundry all day, but start it first thing in the morning." And of course, Bree's like, "No." And then we see Aesha being so nice. She's like, "Today's going to be a great day. We're all learning, and you're going to have a great day. And don't let yesterday bother you." And she's just so positive. And that's great.
It would not be my path.
You would not be as nice as Aesha.
I would not be chill at all. I would be like, girl, what is actually wrong with you?
I told you. What else are you doing? Why aren't you doing the laundry? You're on laundry.
What's happening?
That's your job. So Ian, who's the bosun, tells Sandy that he and Jono were woken up last night by some stew needing food. And he goes, "I don't know. Somebody came in, they needed food, and we really didn't go back to sleep very well after that." And also, by the way, still no provisions. It's just like, it'll be here in 3 hours. And Sandy's like, "My charter will be gone by then." Like, what are you talking about? Like crazy. So I will be interested to see if they solve this next week, like with a new provisions group, or they have to go get it themselves. I don't know.
They wouldn't be able to do this again. Like something would have to change, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
God, it's bad. So Jono and Aesha talk about him being woken up, and she's like, "To be fair, all they wanted was late night snacks." And it did, we showed the prep scene. It's like, we love late night snacks. So yes, it was on him for not preparing anything. At the very least, put out like some mixed nuts and a charcuterie ready to pull out. I mean,
absolutely.
Easy.
Absolutely. It was a fail on his end.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we see Gail talking about her boyfriend, and she's just like, "Yeah, I don't know. I've been on this boat exactly 24 hours, and I think maybe long distance is not going to be for me." Like,
she was like, "My vagina is saying that long distance is not for me."
Yeah, I'm thinking. And the poor boyfriend's on the phone like, "I'm doing my best. You're trying to find a boat we can be on together." And she's like, "I don't know. I'll give it about 2 more days."
She's like, "Don't do your best."
Oh my gosh. So Sandy talks to the chef, Jono, about being woken up. And she's like, "Next time you just prepare the snacks, the late night snacks, be prepared in advance." And he says, "Absolutely, no problem." And then Aesha talks to Elena, like, "I understand why you did that, but Sandy's whole thing is if he's only been down like 30 minutes or he just went to bed, it's one thing, but he's been asleep for hours, So we could all agree that both people were in the wrong a little bit. Elena more so, I think.
Elena had to try. She had to. I would have woken him up.
Okay.
Because there's on the other flip side of that, it was on the preference sheet. Everything on these people are young, and that's why they're like not as stressed about the provisions and the rosé. But to be honest, they've been screwed over by the provisions. And so laundry is not showing up. Food is literally all we have. It is the only thing that's going to make us a little cheddar at the end of this. So I would have absolutely, because he could have said, "Why didn't you wake me up?" As easily as he would have said, you know what I mean? So
good point.
There just needs to be a system in place, which is paninis prepared and put away. Okay. So, but she wasn't wrong. Where she was just wrong with how she tried to guilt him into it.
It was the way she was saying, like, "It's not going to turn out well for you." And he's like, "What?"
It was like a threat.
Yeah. Like, "I'm above you and I'm going to get you fired."
Yeah.
And that's not the case. Not the case.
Right. Not at all.
So now we see Jacob in a Speedo and a matching flowy shirt, and all the content bros are yelling, "Content is king." Okay. So that's how we know they're content bros.
Mary Payne, I am like not hearing them say content is king. And I'm like, as Mary Payne getting that version, I don't know if I'm skipping it, if I'm jotting down a note when they're saying it, but I think it's just because
it's just flowing over, like, it's just showing them taking pictures and getting in the hot tub
Right.
and looking on the deck while one person poses and the other person takes a picture, and
Yeah.
while all that's happening, they're going, "Content is sick, content is king. Yeah, it's gonna be silly content, bro." Like, they're saying the word content a lot. A
It's like white
lot.
noise at this point to
Yeah.
me. It's not even registering.
You're too busy being like, "Is that a Speedo with a matching shirt?" Yes, yes.
Yes.
So now they send a tender over to a super yacht to buy some rosé, and they get 5 bottles of rosé. This is thinking on your feet. This is
This
doing
is
the
it.
thing. This is how you do it.
I will say, I feel like in my time with Below Deck, all of the franchises,
Mhm,
um, sh Captain Sandy is not afraid to, like, connect with another yacht, be it in a good or bad way. Like,
mhm,
this is, like, not the first time she's done that.
mhm,
This is the first time she's done that, but I also feel like she will have a conversation with another super yacht pretty comfortably, where
mhm,
the other captains aren't doing it. It was brilliant. It was the relief I felt having wanted the rosé the whole time was deep,
mhm, 'cause you wanted
and,
it. You wanted it.
oh my god, I would have been yeah, I would have been really having a hard time.
Okay.
So, that was a success story, it was triumphant, it was a
Yes.
highlight, it was great. It's why our tip got bigger at the end, you
Yeah,
know?
because they went the extra mile for the
Oh, yeah.
rosé.
That's called what we say in the retail, market as a surprise and delight moment.
Oh, okay, I just learned something. Alright. So Sandy says she's firing the provisioner for the next trip, and the guests enjoy their rosé, and they say they love everything that Chef Jono has done, everything he's eaten, he's gotten everything right. So Jacob continues to be completely mute and boring, and they just like go over to, oh, he's there, he's at the head of the table, and they put like primary guest underneath. You're like, is he? He doesn't speak.
Yeah.
So Elena says, Jono didn't even ask me about my night and how it went for me. And then she goes and checks in with Bree on the laundry and is like, now, please be sure the clothes go back to the right room. Like, you need to know what room. And
Reason.
Bree's like, got it, on it, got it. Bree tells us, she went to boarding school, private boarding school, and she's used to just having her laundry done for her. Somebody just picks it up and brings it back. She doesn't actually know how things get clean, and she's not good at adulting. And once again, she messes up people's laundry and puts it in the wrong rooms, and nobody can find their stuff.
I looked on, X, and
Hmm.
someone wrote the funniest thing. They were like, "What did Bree do?" The story really is, how did she F up so badly that she ended up in this position, having lived a boarding school life? Like, what went on? Like, how badly did she fail out of school? What did
Hmm.
she do wrong?
Hmm.
Why is she here? Because it would be like Paris Hilton truly
Hmm.
having that position. Like, she is not, just her worldview does not include chores.
No, but her job is 100% only chores.
Correct.
Right. So I think she
It's
thinks being
like,
a yachty is gonna be like, I'm gonna get to hang out on a yacht and be like a fun waitress.
we wouldn't know because she hasn't shared that with us.
Okay.
She's just in a drop of, she seems a nice enough girl. Like,
Sure.
she doesn't seem snooty or
Right.
privileged. There's nothing about her except for the facts is that she, like, doesn't, literally has never lifted a washcloth, so she's just confused. This is
Yeah.
not her area
Y
deeply.
yeah. So the guests find Elena, these 2 guys, and they're like, "We still don't have our pants. They're white pants, like, we don't know where the pants are." And then we see Bree crying in her room about the laundry. She goes in her room, has a little cry, which I did yesterday twice, so feels good.
Mhm.
Um, Elena tells Aesha about the missing pants. She's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake." So the pants are found, and Elena has to explain to Bree, "Okay, so you put the pants in the dryer, and you're not ever supposed to put the guest things on warm air because you don't know, it could shrink the items." And she's like, "Oh, okay." So when Elena goes to tell the guy, "I found your pants. Were they knit pants? I found them." He says, "Yeah." She goes, "They were hang drying. That's why we couldn't find them." Well, I don't know if they were hang drying, but Bree had put them in that hot dryer, and God knows now they're probably like a size extra small. I mean, But by the way, you're only there 3 days.
Why so much laundry?
Why so much laundry? Just bring enough laundry.
No, but like truly, what does anyone know? Like, I actually don't understand why so much laundry. I need help.
It's 3 days. I think it's only 2 nights. So like, why?
But why though?
Yeah, I mean, if you're something got messy in your bag, and you need it steamed, I can understand. But why do you need your pants and your underwear and your everything washed?
I can completely understand steamed. I don't understand. No, I genuinely am like, this is a level of laundry where you're starting it in the beginning of the day. Like, why? I would like someone to tell us.
Yeah, for the guests, like the people on the boat need their laundry done all along. I get that. Just keep flipping it over. But that's polyester. Put that in a hot dryer, nothing matters. It's just it's gonna be fine. So Bree trips and hurts her toe. We get several shots of that because she hasn't been back and forth enough to know that there's a lip there. So she trips and hurts her toe, and then we get more sick and silly content, bro. And the crew get in their whites. The charter guests are going, and Jacob speaks more than 4 sentences. He says the food was incredible. He has to give Jono an extra hug for that. The lack of provisions was disappointing, and a couple of clothes went missing, but in the end, it was all great. That was it. That was his television moment. Jacob,
look, we're watching, so it's meaningful to us. Apparently, I don't know if who else it's meaningful to, but we'll take those 4. You know,
what if under his name instead of primary charter, it would have said like primary charter guest / MILF Manor contestant? That would have been funny.
I would have needed that. Would be amazing. You know,
just to hear him even talk about it. Like, oh, you guys don't even know I went on this trip and I met these women in Canada or something.
Something. Let us live. You know, give us. We have to go back and look at his Instagram because he has it's MILF Manor erasure. To be honest,
really.
He doesn't have a single thing up there.
Because he got kicked out. And his dad cried the whole time. So he was just like, nobody needs to know I was on that show.
All right. But, you know.
Next, he's probably going for like a Big Brother UK or something, you know.
Good luck.
We'll just keep an eye on this space and see if he gets a personality. Then Aesha lets everybody know she needs to take a poo. And then she comes out to tell us how big it was. And Aesha, we don't need this. We don't want this. It's not cute. You're not a 12-year-old boy talking about your poop. It's not cute. I hate it. I hate it so bad about her.
Now, Mary Payne.
Yes.
I'm going to reveal something here.
Okay.
I know it's not great.
Okay.
But as I'm sitting here listening to you, I had written down the same thing. Ew, nasty. She's feral. Get out of the van life, move into plumbing. And then I realized just now, I will text my 2 best friends.
Okay.
And I will say, I just took a meaningful shit. Okay, if it's extraordinary.
Okay.
So I just want to lay that out there. I want to come clean, you know?
Okay. So in case your 2 best friends listen, they might go, you have no room to talk, Deanna. You
exactly
text us all the time. I don't need to hear about anybody's bathroom situation. Yeah. The only thing I will ever say in this house ever would be like, I need to use the bathroom. I'll be back. That's
okay.
it.
Just an alert.
Just, I'll be in the bathroom. That's it.
And that means meaningful shit ultimately, because you wouldn't say that if you had to pee.
No, I'm just letting people know, like, please don't come and try to find me. I'm going to be in the bathroom alone
for
having a moment.
For a significant amount of time.
Yes, it may take some time. I'd like everybody to not bother me.
Mind your manners.
Mind your manners. Please don't let the dogs come in either. All right. So Aesha chats with the girls, kind of like a little wrap up, and says laundry will need to be quicker. And then Elena, is trying to do compliment sandwich. She's like, everybody makes mistakes. We're going to all work together. We're going to do a little train. Everything's fine. They can't have Bree fall apart because they have no one else.
Yeah.
And then Aesha tells Elena, she gives her a little constructive criticism, which Elena does not enjoy constructive criticism. She says, Elena, really, you should never be to bed more than an hour after the guest. That means you've spent too much time with the guest. You haven't got your other duties done. No matter what, you should never go to bed 1 hour past the guest. And Elena's just like, she's seething. She does not like that comment.
Elena worked her titty meat off that
Ew.
night.
Yes,
I
she
know,
did.
but it is what's true. And so, as much as I'm like, she needs to stand in that feedback and just accept it, I do understand that she's like, can I get I came out alive and the guests came out alive. Can I get some credit? You know, it was such a hard night.
Yeah, it's when two of the three stews are crying, charter one, you know. So they have the meeting with the crew, and Sandy goes, you know, what we've determined is never wake the chef. If he's been down, don't wake the chef. And Elena defends herself, like, in my opinion, which also wrong move, Elena. Just say, you're right, lesson learned. Next time we will have a plan in place. But no, she does a little arguing with Sandy, which I didn't like.
No.
But again, she's not taking well to criticism, and she should just absorb it and go about her day. They get 13,000 euros, which is $15,000, which is 1,250 per person. It's a great tip.
Yeah.
Okay. So as they walk off, Jono says, lesson is never wake me again. And Elena kind of looks at him and stops and keeps going. She goes, okay. And he goes, but also I will prepare stuff. Like maybe you were in a crazy situation and I don't want that to happen to you again. So he backed it up, but he was like, you heard what she said. Don't wake the chef. But then again, next time I'll have snacks prepared. But he did want his point to be made. So he calls his boyfriend David. He says his boyfriend David is an opera singer. And he tells David, this bitch is going to drive me crazy. Which I didn't like that. That wasn't nice, but it might be true. Might be true.
A and B.
Elena says she didn't get enough compassion and she didn't get enough sleep. And she cries. So again, two of the three stews are crying on this charter number one. It can only go up from here. That's the way we have to look at it. Now they're going clubbing, as they do. And I just, in my mind, I guess I'm just not in that young mindset. In my mind, I would be like, I'm going to sit here and have dinner and a drink, and I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock. I'm going to catch up. But no, not when you're young and on below deck. No.
And you got a little cheddar in your pocket. You know, that's the other thing. They want to burn it. They're like,
right.
Woo, you know, let's use this money. They also want to look hot with each other. There's a lot of reasons to go out.
You're right. So they go out, they head to the club, and Bree and Elena both say Joe is a charmer and he's kind of hot. So Bree and Elena are both thinking Joe is cute. Nathan and Gail, of course, are hot for each other. Nobody likes Ian. Wah, wah. Sorry, Ian. But maybe later on in the season, he'll be sloppy seconds for one of these gals. So Aesha talks to Gail, who she's like, yeah, you know, I'm not really sure because I'm dating this yachty and we've only been dating a few months. And I don't know, it's only been 7 months or whatever. And Jono says he's been with his guy for that long. And Aesha says, there's a lot of cheating in yachting. And then she says to the camera, I've been with my guys 3.5 years. I've never had a worry. Is her guy also in yachting?
That's a good question.
Is he just riding around in his van waiting for her to get off yacht season?
To me, he's just like a van driver.
Okay. He's just in the van circling Florida waiting for her to get back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then we see Bree dancing with Joe. And then Elena says Joe is totally her type, but like, she's not desperate. She's not going to like, you know. And then she flirts with him and dances with him. We see Bree sitting at the table like, oh.
Yeah, like Bree just went to the bathroom. You can't go to the bathroom, ladies.
No. Somebody will take your guy.
Yeah.
Now, Nathan and Gail are flirting and talking about strawberries. Do we think strawberries mean kissing? Does it mean fucking? What does strawberries mean? I was seeing the clips of the strawberries, but I was like, what does it mean?
Yeah. What was the phrasing? It was like,
it's a lot of work for a couple of strawberries or you can taste my strawberries or something.
I think between them, they've just, I think it was a moment and I don't know. It means I'm going to cheat on my boyfriend and we're going to get together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what strawberries means.
I think it means less than 24 hours. No, less than 3 days into this charter season. I am giving up on the boyfriend.
Yeah. Look, she's young. She's stunning.
Yeah.
She's fun. I like her. She's
All of
only
it.
been together 5 months with him.
And yeah, they were on a boat together, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there you have it.
listen, it's as I've said, my husband's a merchant marine. The lifestyle, we're good, but like I know that it can be rough for people.
People getting in those little bunks together.
They do.
Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty constricted. You'd have to really be talented in your missionary position. Okay, sorry, that's too much. So Nathan says to Gail, we need to lose these cameras. I love it. I love when they try to figure out how to lose those cameras.
We never do.
And then Joe and Bree are sharing food in the kitchen. I guess Elena's gone to bed.
Yeah.
So Bree got the last laugh. Now, Nathan and Gail. Okay, so Nathan and Joe go to their rooms and they're doing like that bro thing, like, yeah, man, like giving each other the fist pump, like from the upper bunk to the lower bunk, as if to say, we're both going to get it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't know if Nathan told Joe, like, I'm texting with Bree. I'm texting with Gail, trying to figure out where to meet her.
I had to imagine that was communicated at some point, you know.
Because he's like, see you later. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Like, guess we're going to bed now.
These cameras are like,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
sound the alarm.
So Nathan and Gail are like texting about where to meet with no cameras. And they say the starboard, the starboard. Mm-hmm. Starboard bow locker. These are yachting words.
Nautical, baby.
Nautical words that I don't I know forward and aft. Starboard, I don't know. Has no cameras. So let's go there. And then Gail says, I don't know. Maybe I like him a tiny bit. I mean, I'm not harming anyone. Okay.
You know, Mary Payne, it just occurred to me.
Yeah.
They must sign off on their, how did they get their text?
I was wondering about the text as well. Is how did they do that in post? Like they said the next day, hey, I need to see what the text exchange was. And they just screenshot it and then recreated it. Or what?
They must have, because it's been a runner. We always get to see their texts. But for some reason, I didn't realize that just till now, like how they must have to sign off on access to their,
or they have phones that the phones that only work on the boat, and production has access to those texts.
And then they would have, but they do get calls from family, and they do get calls.
Like we saw Jono doing FaceTime on his laptop.
Right.
But we didn't see the boyfriend. So I wonder if they have, like, they can have their own device. That's their own personal device. Their own device. Yeah. Lynette told me that the phones that they have there are the only phones they're allowed to have, and they can only communicate within the manor with each other. But we haven't seen that on MILF Manor. We haven't seen like the pop-ups where we've seen what they're texting.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's an interesting below deck producer question.
Yes.
So we could put it to Chris DeRosa and have him find out.
Put him to work. What is he doing?
I mean, what's he doing? Sitting idle, doing nothing, just doing his podcast.
Stalking J-Lo.
He'll say, you leave J-Lo out of it. No matter what you say, he'll say, leave J-Lo out of it. So funny. But that is it. That's the end of our episode. And I think maybe I'm going to watch this season of Below Deck Med. Now I'm invested.
I forgot that you were simply watching it for Jacob.
I was.
Well, I'm in, but I'm always in. It's fun.
I just need Aesha to quit telling us about her farts and her poops and her stinky armpits and like we got it. Like we
Let's
got
level
it.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we got it. You're like a total hip girl. Like you're like one of the guys. Like we get it. Like we get it. You're beautiful, but you're one of the guys. Like we understand. But I don't need it. I don't need the body talking. It's just disgusting to me.
I agree.
Okay. Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you. And I'm sorry to your two best friends that you send those terrible texts to. But if that's an understanding that you have amongst your friendship, I think it's beautiful.
They like it. I'm
They
also
like it.
not
Okay.
getting graphic and I'm just saying meaningful.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that seems to be a little bit different in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I went to the bathroom and I feel a lot better. Like sometimes I'll say that.
Well, you're from the South. You have a level of demeanor,
Yeah. And I really would only say that like to my husband who lives with me, he might be like, what's happening? I'll be like, I don't know. I feel better now. And I'll be like, okay, good. And that's as far as it goes.
AKA big honking shit came out. Like that's the subtext.
It is, but that is so foul to me. I would never even think those words, much less say them. And I think that's just the way my mom, you know what I mean? That's just,
yes.
You would never say such things. I got in so much trouble in like 12th grade when I was 18 years old for saying pissed off.
Oh, wow.
I said, because something that just pisses me off. And she's like, yo, what? Do not talk that way in this house.
My dad had that reaction when I was in, I think, middle school, and I said scumbag because I had heard somebody say that.
Oh, really?
Yes, because really, I mean, now we're really in the dirt of it, but it is, I think. Well, I don't even want to say it. I'll text you after.
Because it means something really, really gross.
Well, I think it's like a used condom.
Really?
Can we look it up?
Sure. Do you want to look it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Look it up. Go ahead. Tippity tap it in.
Hey Siri, what's the meaning of scumbag?
How about Hey Urban Dictionary?
Oh yeah, because this is just like giving me the basics.
Yeah.
Where does the term scumbag come from?
Oh, okay. Now we're getting it. So at least that's what your dad thought it meant. Does it say it comes from a used condom?
I think. Yeah. Wait.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right. She's looking.
There are two meanings. The earliest evidence of scumbag is well, this has to be a TBD because I just saw that's scumbag condom 1967.
Ew. That was a brand of condom?
No, but it's like
gross.
This is too hard to do right now. It's too layered.
Yeah.
The earliest known use of the noun scumbag is from 1960.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. They were getting pretty dirty in the 60s. So you could be onto something. I've just never in my life ever, that would have never occurred to me. Never.
Yeah. And I don't think yes. The first known use of scumbag was in 1967. It was referring to a condom.
Wow. We did it. We did it. Wow. Deanna. Okay. Now you think about Dolores to Danielle in Jersey. Welcome back, scumbag. Does Dolores know that's what it means?
We can tell her.
We could tell her. We don't know her, but we could tell her.
But we can tell her.
Well, we could tell her. Everybody, thank you for listening to this 2-part episode, and I hope you enjoy your Thursday Shades of Bravo. Remember, you can always follow Deanna M. Cheng on Instagram, also the Montage Queen, and also howtobelessold.substack.com and How to Be Less Old podcast.
Oh my God. You're amazing.
You just right off the top of the dome.
Woo!
I gotta support my friends. I gotta make sure everybody's following everybody and everybody. I did hit my 10,000 goal on Instagram, but now we're just going for the next goal. So I will continue to encourage you to follow me. And I do have a Lynette reel coming out Wednesday, which is when we're recording this. So be on the lookout for the reel about Lynette and her interview that we did about the manor.
I'm excited.
The manor. She's so great. So great. She would be our friend, Deanna. She would be our friend.
She is.
Yeah, she is. She is. All right, everybody. Thanks very much and enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.